Behind the Counter is sponsored by
Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. And by Stitcher Radio. Listen on the go via the Stitcher mobile app. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ.
Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. We're feeling all right. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Counter. I'm your host, Rich Stambolian. And with me this fine Friday evening is the Merlin to my Uther, John Adler.
Hey,
What's up?
what's happening?
Nothing.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Yeah?
You know,
Could be better?
could be better.
We had a party last night.
Room for improvement.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We did. Last night was Andrew's birthday party, and it was fantastic. Thank you, all the peoples at Sapphire's,
Drown him out with music.
the club. Just keep playing the song over and over again. I'm cool with that. So we're a little worse for wear today, but, you know, we got to keep it lively. So turn it on, John. Let's go. Stop staring into the abyss.
Yeah, last night was fun. I think we were the best roasters.
Yes.
I think we had the best material.
Mhm.
Andrew, agree?
And the best toasters.
Yes. I feel like I drank from 7 o'clock to... What time did we get there? 7?
We got there a little bit before 7.
A little bit before
6:30.
So
From
we
6:30 to about 1:30, you were...
Yeah, going hard.
Yeah.
Scotch only, guys.
Yeah.
Gross.
Hey, you pretty much drank like...
What kind of scotch were you
This
having?
guy was drinking Macallan.
Oh, you were drinking the good
Yeah.
stuff, huh?
Hell yeah. But the problem is that I wasn't eating. So, because we didn't eat till like 10 o'clock, so
Yeah.
it
Oh,
just
man.
felt like chemical burn in my stomach. It was just like gross.
Yeah.
And I had the worst case of hiccups all day today.
Yeah, you were hiccuping last night too,
Yeah,
man.
it's just really bad. And I took like a some type of like acid reflux stuff.
One of the guys, one of the goons that works there, he's like, "Who's the guy from the 1920s?" He's talking about you.
Okay, yeah. Well,
It's
Kenny
pretty good.
Santucci goes there. He's like, "Do you dress like this all the time?" And I go, "Whenever I have the opportunity to."
That was funny.
But all the women of Sapphires really appreciate the shit out of the outfit.
Yeah.
They were loving the chain and the whole nine.
Because they thought you...
time traveler.
He thought you were like...
Here from the past to save them.
They thought you were like a big oil magnate last night. It was like John D. Rockefeller over here.
But they were fun. It's a day of I can spit. That was my very first time at Sapphire. So the talent is wonderful. It was a fun place. The drinks were great.
Yeah.
I think it's a little expensive.
The
but,
company was good too.
The company was good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a high end. It's a high end.
It is a very high end place.
It was a lot of fun.
What'd you eat?
I had the ribeye.
How was it?
It was wonderful.
Yeah, same here. It was really
The
good.
ribeye was like, and I got like a side of French fries. But and the French onion soup was amazing.
It was tremendous.
That was like the best French onion soup I've ever had in my life.
I could not eat enough of that bread. I made the guy bring like 2 more bowls back.
Yeah, you went nuts with that.
I could not stop eating that bread. I also got to say this as a compliment to Mike, right? Mike is the proprietor.
Mike Wright, the COO.
That guy
Very cool dude.
That guy has his shit together.
Yeah, he does.
He runs a tight ship, man.
And he seems like he's got a really level-headed on. his
Mike Wright
shoulders.
is not too much older than us,
Yeah.
by the way.
No, but he just
Cool.
looked.
Yeah.
He seemed like it was 1,000 people running around all night long. Whether it be like waitresses or whatever.
Yeah.
That dude was like
Calm.
in like 30 miles an hour. That was about it. Just like
Yeah.
cruise
No,
control.
Mike Wright is genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met, and probably in that business, in the gentleman's club business, probably the most up and up dude.
He's
ever.
He's not cool.
I mean, listen, he lets us eat there, he lets us drink there. We
Yeah.
use his room for
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
And his driver.
I mean, we have free reign of the
Yes.
place.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a great time. It was we were honored to be there, and
yeah.
we definitely took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, thank you again, man.
Anytime.
The only person that got money out of me was the bathroom attendant.
Yeah. Hey, he was cool too.
That's not true. The girls got money.
Mm-hmm. Take that money. What you know about Money Girl?
Girl?
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have a lot of books that we want to talk about today. As far as news goes, if you haven't seen the Avengers, Google it, go watch it. What else we got? We're
having some weird Marvel teasers going down thing. They're advertising the second act of Avengers vs. X-Men, where it says Avengers No More and has the Earth in the shape of an X. So something big is going to be happening with that. We also had a teaser today that was just released called The First X-Men. That's being billed in August, which people are speculating is going to be like the Bendis X-Men book.
Which would be fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic. What else we got? You touched on it before we started about the ethics of Marvel and DC.
Roger Landridge, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Landridge of the very underappreciated, find it, pick it up, of Mighty Thor. With his work with Chris Samney. It was a great little miniseries about like Captain America, Thor, in like a kind of like a different reality.
Like the different origin. It's like a different origin.
Yeah,
of Thor.
it was almost like an ultimate version of it.
Yeah.
And it was really, really well done. And Landridge has been getting a lot of work. He does the Muppet work for I believe Boom. He's doing a great deal with what's his name? Thing called Snart, which is about the side characters in Alice in Wonderland, which is supposed to be very, very good.
Right.
And he's also got a great deal of attention for selling a shit ton of copies of Popeye,
which is
awesome.
Tremendous.
It's an awesome, awesome book. So he basically wrote a letter out there and said, I don't want to be dealing with Marvel and DC because they're becoming these weird, sick corporate entity. He doesn't believe in the ethics of it.
Right.
And I can understand. I mean, you have Marvel making the transition to being a Disney company and DC transforming into whatever, like a hive mind.
Whatever
thing.
they can at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what their ultimate goal is to. It's not to sell movies. It's not to I don't know what it is. I don't know what I know they want to sell comics, but it's just.
It's how they're doing it that bothers you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from that free comic book day thing, it was just like I had like such a fanboy reaction to it. What was it? The Trinity at War.
Yeah, it's like a
Something
teaser
like
to the next big crossover in DC called the Trinity War.
Yeah, where it's Pandora, Phantom Stranger, who's apparently Judas, and it's a question.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird, and it just made. I'm like, when is this?
And he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
In this, he's like this immortal scumbag. Who may have not been Victor Sage or whatever.
Right.
And his curse is they disfigure him and make him this faceless monster. It's weird. And he also can't remember his past. He'll constantly be asking the question of life.
So that's
his
the
thing.
crux of the character now.
Yeah.
I question everything.
Yes.
You know what? Like, it just made me like I had like that moment where I was like, I just want the big red ass to come back, and that's it, and just make it.
Yeah.
Do like when Grant Morrison rewrote Justice League on like his tremendous run. Like, that's what I want. And that's not too much. It's not too much to ask.
Well, this was like, it's always interesting to see what the respective companies put out for Free Comic Book Day. So Marvel did a bunch of reprints and like teaser stuff. It wasn't really a hell of a lot. But this, the DC thing it's like a full-on preview of what was coming down the line. So you have Pandora being set up as this threat, and she's recovering Pandora's box. They show like the haunted tank and all these weird things that are kind of been collected by government agencies in DC's world. But it tops out in they show like Batman running off in like the near future.
Yeah,
meaning like probably a few months from now, with Pandora's box, which is in the shape of like a golden skull, and fighting this black Green Lantern dude who looks kind of like Super Pro.
He does look like Super Pro.
And the team, it's like JLA versus like another JLA team. So
JSA.
Yeah.
Probably more than likely.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, like you have like that one picture of Alan. I think it's like it was the Flash. It was like the new Jay Garrick Flash, and then the new Alan Scott Green Lantern.
Yeah, but they're just showing that's just a preview into Earth 2. This at the very end is just like it's a big like smorgasbord of like dudes fighting each other, and you got Flash. You have Vibe from the Justice League Detroit.
Sweet.
We always want that. what's her name? Elemental Girl, who is the most depressing story ever in like Sandman. Who is like the female metamorpho. Hawkman showing up, who sucks now because he's like Venom. You know, like you know what's that?
I haven't
Hawkman
read,
is
like, I read the first 2 issues. And
his nth metal is like Venom. It like comes around him and stuff like that.
So it's like a Venom extremist kind of thing.
You got Green Arrow, the Atom, which is going to be the Asian kid, and like for some reason I'm feeling like this is Jon Stewart as Green Lantern,
Super Pro Green Lantern.
Yeah, and he might be like a bad guy or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Trinity War coming soon.
Buy it.
Sure, it'll be great as Avengers vs. X-Men.
Which is tremendous. I mean, we always talk about it. We always talk about how, like, what would we like to see both companies do, etc. It's kind of like I'm kind of sick of talking about what I want from DC at this point. Yeah.
It's not happening.
And I think Grant Morrison nailed it in that artistic diatribe, which is like the last issue of Action could be interpreted as a diatribe against DC Comics, where he's the character Superman is fighting the idea of Superman, basically.
Yeah.
Where it's like, like the big corporation says, hey, we can make Superman whatever we want, and you're going to love it, and you're going to buy it, and you're going to keep buying it, because this is all it is. There's nobody else putting out Superman. This is the guy.
And you know what's interesting, too, is that ever since this happened, the 52 thing was kind of thrown in, Morrison has definitely taken a step back. This was a guy who was, doing the major crossover. He doesn't even have a Batman title coming out, regularly. Now we're finally getting incorporated.
Yeah. I can't wait for Incorporated.
Yeah, and awesome. And that's a book that seems like they kind of had to wait for them to get through like the Core of the Owl stuff and get him to do his own, like, because when Grant Morrison steps up and does Batman, he's doing the Batman, usually the definitive type, but he's gonna have some stiff competition with Snyder, man, because he's rocking it.
See, I would love to have them both on tandem books where
me too.
One handles DC.
Well, we will. We are. Yeah.
I mean, one because Incorporated is so far out of the realm of Batman.
Yeah.
I'm saying
it's
like
not dark at all.
Yeah.
It's just very it probably will get darker, but it's more of like it's
the pop art Batman,
the crazy shit.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see one of them on Detective and one of them on Batman, just the two major books,
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I always feel like Snyder should be on Detective.
But you know what? Like, I guess we might as well start talking about it now. We have a lot of books to talk about. The Night of the Owls was the first major crossover in DC, right?
Right. Officially.
Ever. In this DC universe. The main Batman title has been nothing but tremendous, and now you're getting like the second week of crossovers with the other Batman books. So this week, we're gonna talk about Batman number 9, which is when we left off at the end of issue 8, Batman basically got into a suit of armor that was like a tank.
Yeah,
it was like a Batman tank. And he was just knocking dudes out left and right. The owls, the Talons infiltrated the cave, and he's trying to get him out of his house. And we also have Batman and Robin number 9, which it tangentially has to do with the main Night of the Owl story, but it's Robin's one adventure taking out one Talon, who's after like the soldier. So basically, at this point, the Talons are targeting.
Every major figure in Gotham.
Every major figure in Gotham, or figures that have ties to previous major figures in Gotham,
right?
Like as evident in the Batman and Robin book. But go for it, man. What did you think about this new issue of Batman?
Well, I mean, it's awesome seeing this like weird RoboCop Batman explaining the way that his armor works, and basically that it's built to be. In the most extreme circumstances. So, the temperature has been dropped to like below, freezing in the Batcave to slow these guys down, because they're basically the Talons are reanimated corpses who've been trained all their life to kill. So he's fighting these dudes like, this is supposed to be used in, like extreme weather and like, the harshest conditions, and they're in my home. So, like, how much of an advantage he has. And he's pretty much decimating the crap out of him. Meanwhile, Alfred is trying to get himself the hell out to try and help him in some way. And all around Gotham, the Batman family is trying their best to, keep as many people alive as they can.
Yeah, they put the call out, and a really cool thing about this, besides the suit, which was again tremendous, like it was like the bunker basically that he could walk around in, you know, and like this one, it's like such a cool little bit that Scott Snyder threw in there, where he has enough power and oxygen to last for weeks in the suit. He's got like food stores.
All the oxygen,
super durable. And you have like him. It's Batman kicking ass during the entire issue. A really cool bit with the T-Rex, which I'm not going to spoil for Batman readers, and Alfred kind of scrambling to get everybody together and protect Bruce, and have like the cool little narrative of like when the Waynes first got to the manor, they got a bunch of owls to get rid of the bats, and then the bats came back stronger than ever.
That's right. That's right.
So it was like a cool little parallel between him and the Talons. But the backup in this story really...
Well, before we do that, it's really interesting, the fact that... Because there's always been like an Owl Man. And Owl Man is the counter-Earth version of Batman. He was like, if Batman was bad. So it's interesting they use the owl thing as being as a theme that he, as an owl thing. Plus we have before Watchmen, you have like Night Owl coming out, which he does, bear a striking resemblance to.
Right.
But it's just cool that they kind of like twist it around, because he really is like, instead of one dude, it's an army of, guys who are buried deep into the mythology of Gotham that he never knew about. So it's like they're really, and he kind of resembles them. The horns and everything. So you're learning this new kind of like mythology about Gotham that Snyder's doing such a great job, and like the Pennyworth thing is even bringing it further in.
Yeah, it piques a fan's interest, because the backup in this issue was, I think it was Alfred's father.
Yeah,
Alfred's father, Jarvis. Right? There's
ironic.
Like 3 butler names in existence: Alfred, Jarvis, and probably something else. I don't know. I always lose sight of the other one, Mookie. So you have Jarvis Pennyworth doing like this. He's writing this letter, basically saying, "I don't know what I got myself into. Forgive me." Blah blah blah. Which is just read it, but it opens up this whole thing where you're like, oh man, is Jarvis Pennyworth kind of maybe a little bit responsible for some of this owl stuff?
Well, we know that the things that we know about this is that the owls were not happy with Martha Wayne and Thomas Wayne,
right, and
the Wayne family in general,
because they were good. They were too good.
Yeah, and also you have this great mythology of Gotham being the kind of started up by the Waynes. Cobblepot, Elliot, and Crown, which I think at one point was a mayor.
Right.
And they built like the 4 bridges that bring Gotham together. And you can read about that in Scott Snyder's Gates of Gotham with, I think, Sterling Gates wrote along with him, I think, or whatever. But regardless, so there was some type of, rift that went on between them. And the fact that if Alfred's father had something to do with this, maybe that's why Bruce always had a tough time finding out if this was a myth or not.
Right.
Because the biggest thing that's bothering Batman at this point is the fact that he doesn't understand how they were able to operate for hundreds of years or whatever it may be under his nose.
Right. And it completely escaped him.
Everything, yeah, and he knows Gotham.
Well, the best Batman story is always the one where he gets put through the ringer with like the unexpected catalyst, Well,
this is the physical and the mental.
Right, yeah, and this is just like, it's him kind of turning the tide at this point, almost saying like, all right, I'm going to purge Gotham of this sickness, like once and for all. And it's a nice addition to the Rogues Gallery.
I love him. I think the look of him is great.
Yeah.
Between the talons and then the actual court itself with the weird like white owl masks and suits, and then the weird deformities, and there's so much cool stuff going on in this storyline. You couldn't ask for a better. We were very skeptical of this Batman. Greg Capullo's killing it. It's just, it works. Can't say all the tie-ins are that great.
Yeah.
The Nightwing is very necessary. Pick that up. It's explaining why, because at one point, there's a very interesting plot point is that Dick Grayson was through his circus. the circus, Haley Circus, was always like a breeding ground for these for the Talons,
right?
Because they'd find these people with like weird abilities, or whatever, young kids that needed money. So the Grayson line had something to do with these Talons, and he was eventually supposed to be one. So it's him fighting basically an ancestor of himself, which is a great, awesome storyline. And
also, with the way that Nightwing has been, it's a nice little breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And you have also, which I really dug, and we both dug it, was Batman and Robin #9, which also came out this week, which is Robin's. Every member of the Bat family has to protect one of these members of society that the Talons are going after. So Robin's was like this was like a sergeant or a colonel or something. And Robin, like, basically, it's an awesome issue because it's really like Devil May Care, Damian Wayne.
It's all Robin, dude.
All Robin going after, trying to protect these guys from the Talons, and he's commanding this guy's platoon. Then they're like, "Who is this kid?" And he's like, "Form up on me, like stay on formation, like shoot this way, shoot that way, like fill your magazines at this interval," shouting out all this like army stuff to these guys, and they're listening to him. And it's a cool little it's a one issue thing, and it's a cool little testament to how badass Damian Wayne is.
Yeah, and this is coming right after that badass storyline where he just killed a man.
Yep.
Dealing with that, and how he get his shits together and. Is an awesome little soldier.
It's a good little. It was a very violent issue.
Yep.
You see people getting their heads chopped off and everything. The art is on the nicer end.
Well, that's what's great about this is that with the Talons, because they're like the undead, you get to see Batman like ripping the crap out of half these guys.
Yeah, which kind of quells the bloodthirst of a lot of fans.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just do it?
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's great to see a Batman story that is this expansive and this big and not involving really the main rogues at all. These are all like brand new characters.
Well, it also makes me think that because it's not involving the main rogues, that Snyder has something cooking.
Yeah. Well, he says. I think I don't remember if he was teasing towards the idea of that maybe there would be, kind of a reveal. I mean, like Kyle Pott is an old name in there, but I think he said he really wanted to kind of like reestablish stuff, and then like he has a great like rogue story coming. Like he wants to play with those guys.
Yeah, man, who wouldn't?
He's done two great characters for us, reestablishing James Gordon.
Yeah.
The psychopath son of Jim Gordon. And the Court of Owls, he's done a fantastic job. It's very tough to make a good bad guy these days.
It is, especially with the way things are kind of going with like regardless of the relaunch or not, this dude is doing solid Batman stuff, which kind of we always say that it falls out of the realm of the relaunch where you're not getting hokey, you're getting solid. Like awesome, cool Batman stuff that you want to see,
totally.
and I feel like it fits very well within the pre-relaunch Batman canon.
Exactly.
And I think I'm going to use the segue that the Talons.
I would hope you would.
Huh?
I hope you would.
That the Talons are zombies to go into the next book that we're going to talk about. So what were you thinking?
I'll talk to you about it later.
What?
We'll discuss it later.
What is it?
Move on.
What is it?
No.
Did I hurt your feelings?
No.
Are you going to walk out?
No.
Am I alone now?
I'm alone now.
Walking Dead number 97 came out
Dope book.
this week. Really cool book. It was a little bit above the regular transitionary issue, which I felt the last one was. But you're getting them bartering with this new town. Like they're the hilltop town. Last issue established Rick and his people are going to be the de facto protectors of this new town, and the town already has like they're being racketed on by what's the guy's name?
Negan.
This guy Negan, who's like this,
speaks for everybody.
Yeah, he speaks for everybody, and he's like this mythical kind of like folklore figure. In this issue,
lots of bikers.
You get the sense that maybe Negan does not exist; that it's just a cult.
Could be. There's something very cultish about
Yeah.
this aspect. Even between the Hilltop and this group, there's something that we're not being told about them. They're all seem very cold-blooded and psychopath. Like it opens up with the Negan's crew basically stopping Rick's caravan and Rick's crew coming down and them decimating Negan's crew, and they leave one alive to tell Negan this is what the deal is, and he was very unfazed by the violence.
Rick.
The messenger.
Yeah.
So they seem like they're pretty messed up, and you get some great plot elements going on. A lot of stuff you didn't realize was going to happen. Number one, we got Maggie pregnant.
Right.
Kind of saw that coming eventually.
You have more of the Rick Andrea relationship.
Yeah, you have that developing. Kind of both of them saying like, "Hey, let's get down."
This issue was very packed. I think that's why we're talking about it too, because you have all that stuff happening. You also have the scientist, and you have Abraham also, like that weird dynamic where he's kind of like pushing Abraham's buttons a little bit.
Yes.
So that's going to lead, and he's still trying to make the bullets.
There's a lot to go wrong. So number one, Abraham is big burly dude. He's kind of like Rick's right hand man, one of Rick's right hand men at this point. But he's a guy he really depends on for like physical backup along with Michonne. But he's also kind of like the de facto leader when he's not around. But he's being pushed by his bitch girlfriend to like overthrow Rick, kind of. And Abraham's like, whatever. And then you got this scientist dude who we don't even know just what the extent of his knowledge is trying to make bullets, which just sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah. Plus he's trying to sleep with Abraham's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
And he's kind of throwing it in Abraham's face. And it kind of like ends off with the two of them going off to go to get basic supplies to make these bullets. And you see the leathered dudes of Negan. They all wear like leather jackets or like greasers.
Yeah. They're just kind of like they're stalking Abraham, and I always forget that dude's name, the scientist. But like they're kind of stalking them, and Rick is like the hero come home, and now you also have, I feel like this may be a teaser where they kind of show like possibly like a new zombie.
Yeah, there was another thing. Yeah, well, so there's one little moment where they're clearing out the Rick's I want to say what we want to call I guess Rick's camp.
Yeah.
So like at Rick's camp. They're like kind of decimating zombies and just like cleaning up a bit, and there was one that like was really rotted through. So I'm assuming these are like the really like no matter like they're starting realizing like all the dead is rising from the graves, like mummies, whatever it may be. Like
it's not the freshly dead anymore. It's just
everything, and it may take a long time for them to claw their way out of the grave, but they're coming.
Right. It's a cool little thing to throw in there that I feel like a lot of people may have missed if they just kind of were like, because like at this point, like you read the book for a while, and it's
kind of know the rules.
Yeah, and it's also 97 issues in, and you may get hooked in, you may get suckered in by the hook that it's a zombie book, but it's about people. It's like and you have like this tremendous people story that's been going on for near 100 issues, and the zombie thing is always in the back of your mind. Yeah, where now it's kind of like it's still a threat, and now I think this is gonna blossom into like an even more of a bigger threat down the line.
Well, it was great when we had the introduction to the idea of the herd.
Right.
Like a new like that was something fairly down the line where in the show it gets introduced right away. It took us quite some time to get to that idea of like how it works and how they all of a sudden you have hundreds of zombies out of nowhere from a noise. It was a great idea. Yeah. So like I definitely see the propensity of there being a possibility of some new zombie threats.
Yeah. Really good issue. I am so
Have we seen a normal baby be born? Aside from Rick's baby?
Not to my knowledge.
I wonder if that's going to be something new.
That may be something new also. Maybe
that maybe life cannot grow. Maybe like I don't know.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to issue number 100 because you don't know what's going to happen, and
that's going to be the big stuff.
It's teasing it that Rick is going to bite it,
I don't believe it.
It could happen.
It could
easily happen, and the book would still go on. But I feel like, maybe at one point he may have wanted to kill Rick, but I think the fans would go bananas if he ended up doing it.
Yeah, I think I think he had plots that he went scaled back on and he couldn't do it. I really see a lot of bloodshed coming up.
Oh, yeah.
These anniversary issues never go well for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see, sadly, a confrontation between Abraham and Rick.
I think Abraham's gonna side with reason, actually, because you want him to turn. I feel like Abraham's just gonna blow the professor's brains out, and he's gonna shoot his bitch girlfriend in the face.
I think that he's a messed up dude. He was introduced as a messed up dude as a foil, and then they just happened to become buddies, kind of the same way Tyrese did. But they never had, it's another tough dude to have around. Of course, I'm gonna side with him, but I think they're gonna mess with him where there's gonna be a point where it's gonna be Rick and Abraham kind of cracking up.
That he's gonna go
I think
over.
I think Abraham's messed up.
Do you think Abraham's gonna go over to Negan and say I'll deliver them to you?
Maybe. I think he's. I feel like the girlfriend influencing him is like a Chekhov's gun. It has to be addressed, and it always happens. Don't question Rick. I would never go against Rick.
No, not at all.
That dude will shoot me in the middle of he goes by cowboy rule.
Yeah.
No,
he's a cop, man. Martial law.
Yeah, man.
Really, really if we're chomping at the bit, man, we got about 3 months until issue 100 drops.
Great stuff,
which is going to be fantastic, and it's going to wrap up the Something to Fear storyline, which is right now. And every cover, you get a brutal image, and everybody's face is whoever's on the cover, their face is blacked out. And I think this is also the storyline where they're going to introduce Daryl, or the Daryl character.
Yes. One of the covers there was a some gentleman with a crossbow, and Kirkman has said that he definitely wants to write the character into the story.
Hey, fantastic! Do it. Do what you gotta do, bro. What else we got? We got 2 X-Men books today.
Yeah, 2.
Did you want to jump into something else?
No.
What do we got? Let's do Uncanny X. Uncanny X-Force has been one of the best books on the shelf.
Let me tell you.
25 issues in, and you cannot get enough of that Rick Remender fella. This one was Mike McCone. I think did the art on this, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Mike McCone, and Jeremy Opeña does the regular.
He's usually the regular guy.
Really, really cool stuff, man. I know you're a huge fan of this book.
I think this is one of the most unique. Just like how I love X Factor. X Factor is a great, unique mutant book. This is a Death Squad led by Wolverine. Along with Psylocke, the wonderful Phantom X, the Frenchie man, Deadpool, and Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler, who is on a personal vendetta to kill as many leftovers from the Age of Apocalypse universe. He just recently took out the vicious Iceman, which was an awesome battle, and now he's going after the Blob, who is rumored to be joining the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, because there is no real Blob in our world anymore.
Right. He was just skin.
He's a skinny guy.
What I really, really love about this book is that it's not just like your action.
Oh, and Deathlock
book.
Is on the team.
Deathlock,
too.
right.
Yeah.
What I really love about this book is it's just not all in-your-face action. It's the fact that they're kind of a lot, except for Wolverine, and I think Age of Apocalypse, Nightcrawler, and Deadpool, obviously. The rest of them are kind of dealing with the fact that they're just doing really messed up stuff.
Yeah, the book has always been about the team started by Cyclops saying basically there's stuff out there that we need to take care of that we need to keep quiet from the rest of the world, because we are teachers. We're supposed to be the moral backbone.
Right.
So obviously he goes to Wolverine and says here, this is gonna be your problem. And basically it's been a group of murderers. He turned X-23 into a murderer. Warpath was they've ruined a ton of people. Archangel totally ruined them.
Psylocke.
That guy was a normal human being, and then now he's he went from being Apocalypse to now becoming a person who thinks he's an angel.
Right.
You've got the Kid Genesis on the team, which is a great. In the world.
In the world.
Yeah, he's in this issue as well.
He's the reborn Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Who's raised as Superman, basically.
By Phantom X.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a really messed up book.
So much stuff is like there's so much going on with all the characters.
The X-Force books have always been extremely meaty because I feel like this is the little X-Men book that could. You get your high action and like your other more superhero specific storylines with the other X-Men books. This is just it's really cool stuff, man. And you
big
have
ideas.
Really big ideas. And the fact that Wolverine is the team leader and he's just like the guy who. It's not that he doesn't have sympathy, but it's written as kind of like, look, this team is together for one reason, and it's to kill dudes. Like, hey, I'm sorry you can't handle that. You might as well go.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point the only one who's on his side, like who's conscious of being on his side, was Deadpool's a maniac, is Nightcrawler. And Nightcrawler, and you have that relationship, little tidbit in this where he's like, you know what, man, you were a total a-hole on my world.
I guess he's Apocalypse.
Because he's Apocalypse, and in here he's like, I kind of like you.
Yeah, they have and it's also messed up that it's Wolverine, and it's his like old best friend who's dead, and he knows that this is weird to be carrying on this like something like cheating on your friend. But he's a great addition to the team. In this book, though, we have Psylocke and Phantom X both leaving the team to deal with their own stuff. Phantom X has no face anymore.
Right.
He has his face skinned off the last issue. Psylocke also cannot feel empathy at this point.
Right.
So she's a disaster.
So she's completely messed up. And
everyone's a mess. Everyone's a complete Wolverine has to deal with the fact that he's doing this murder stuff and also a professor and running an entire school. Deadpool just like doing it for the money or whatever it may be.
Right.
But this is a very Deadpool centric issue. He's basically visiting a place where you can buy these custom made assassins. So he's going through. He steals somebody's identity. He's they show like super adaptoid like rolling around in the background, and there's like 3 cases that are missing. And all of a sudden a tendril wraps around his throat. And it's this team called Team Omega, and Team Omega is Omega Red and these 2 other Omega Black and Omega White or Blue.
I think it's Blue, yeah.
Blue, yeah. And they all have these unique powers and everything, and they're going to be the threat for a couple of issues before they introduce the brand new Brotherhood of New Mutants,
the Omega Clan.
The Omega Clan,
and one of them is a lady. But yeah, it's like the DNA of Omega Red, who I always really liked Omega Red as a Wolverine baddie.
Yes, you have.
Because it was an interesting like the Russian version of Department X or Department H, and they made just like this maniac who can kill people with pheromones. Was it? He had like the death stench,
and he also can negate the healing factor.
Right. And the only thing that could stop him was the synthesizer?
Something like that. Yeah. I can never remember like if it's what the name of his the synthesizer or the friggin'
he had carbonadium.
Yeah, carbonadium or something like that.
And Wolverine had adamantium, and they just like negated each other.
I guess they're cool. I guess he's cool, but I'm very much on board on what they're gonna do with the storyline.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but they kind of do tease it early on. In the very first panel, first 2 panels, Quint Quire is in school and talking to Genesis, Kid Apocalypse, and you see someone basically in a tree with a long rifle. And it looks like Sabretooth.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like Sabretooth. That also.
Well, the only ones we know that are definitely going to be on the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants are going to be Sabretooth, Mystique, and Age of Apocalypse Blob so far.
Right.
Possibly the Omega Clan as well.
I think you're right about the Sabretooth thing because it's just drawn weird because you don't see his face.
Yeah.
And I immediately thought Wild Child.
Oh, you never know.
They might bring him back,
especially with the Age of Apocalypse connection.
Yeah, exactly. But a tremendous book. It's issue number 25. You can pick up everything collected. It's a really dark X-Men book. Even
pick up the original X-Force that Chris Yost and what's his face wrote that basically relaunched the idea of the X-Force team as being a murder hit squad.
Oh, with Crane on the art.
Yeah. That's when you get the Return of Archangel, lots of good stuff. But this Uncanny X-Force has been such a tight read, It is. It's not bogged down by what else is going on in other books or anything like that. It rocks, dude. It is like one of the most satisfying X-Men books. Let's do the.
You want to do this?
I want to do a Lantern.
Yeah. All right.
I was excited about that book.
It's such a great book. Next book on the docket is Green Lantern #9. Third month in a row that we have talked about this book on the show. Who knew?
Good for us.
Really, honestly, like a really tremendous book. Like it's been getting better and better with every issue. This storyline it centralizes itself around the secret of the Indigo Lanterns.
Very fascinating stuff.
Very fascinating. So granted, I wish the secret came out last issue, but I held my breath, and the payoff in this issue was fantastic.
Yeah. Jeff Johns is a master of really stretching these teasing storylines out. He really knows how to do a good job of like keeping you interested enough to keep on going, and he'll do it for as long as possible. The Indigo Lantern stuff has been going on for a while. We've known basically nothing about it.
Right. And
this issue, we basically get the entire rundown, what the Indigo Lanterns basically are, the connection to Abonsor. We get some great Sinestro stuff. Roll through.
Yeah. A lot of cool flashback stuff here. At one point, like in a nutshell, this story with the Indigo Lanterns, you get the sense that Sinestro and Abonsor were really close at one point. They were best friends. Abonsor, as we all know, died, and Hal Jordan gets his ring. But Abonsor also kind of had a failsafe against, and this is like one of the reveals, against the Guardians of the Universe, who he considered the ultimate bad guys in the universe. Developed the failsafe was the Indigo Lanterns. Him and this other being combined powers. It was the purple and the green made the indigo. Indigo is the color of compassion in the Green Lantern universe.
Try to see if I can find that guy's name while you're talking.
Now, the other reveal is the fact that the members of the Indigo Lantern Corps, since its inception, have all been the galaxy's most heinous criminals and murderers and despots and all like these horrible people that they've taken to this planet, and through the compassion that Abonsor had, he basically brainwashed them into being the most compassionate lantern.
Yeah, well, that's what, and we saw that, with Black Hand. He was the first one, and kind of got you thinking, like, what's the deal? Why are they, he's in chains, he's hanging out with them. He was the big threat in Blackest Night.
A Fatality also was one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she became a Star Sapphire.
Star Sapphire.
Yeah.
Most of these guys, we have no idea where they are. We also get the revelation of what knock means.
Right.
Knock is constant, because they speak in a different language. There's words you always pick up, like knock and, obviously Abonsor. It's from this strange indigo tribe, shaman, roughly translated to your language, means compassion be with you. It's also the name of the world that they're on.
Right, Nostromo is the little dude's name.
Yeah,
and yes, Garby, we do watch the chat room. What's going on? If you got a question, throw it out to us. If anybody has anything to say, also throw it out to us. Go on. Sorry.
So yeah, you get this like really great storyline of the past. It's all showing you basically like the Guardians are the greatest threat to the world, to the universe. So this was a kind of like Abonsor's like failsafe. For what will happen if the Guardians ever get out of control, and when they do get out of control, what happens? So, this dude's been inside this cavern on the ground forever, and Hal Jordan tells him he's dead. Abonsor has been long dead.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, it's over," and he basically blows up the Indigo Lantern, the main power battery. Yeah. And crying his eyes out, and now they have a bunch of psychopaths. Black Hand is free, and all these Indigo One, who was like the most compassionate monk. All these really nice dudes. The last page, there's a scary looking psychopaths.
Well, it was such a cool little reveal. And Garby, I will get to the answer to that after we're done with this book, because it's something that we both are very we're very turned on by it. Not in that sense, but it's a really really cool reveal that he's like, I'm like no Tromo shuts it down. This means Sinestro's free, right? Sinestro's about to kill Hal Jordan. He's like, all right, Sinestro, like he's like, all right, Jordan, you're free. And then they turn around, and now it's Jordan and Sinestro, which is one of my favorite team ups, versus all like these free bad guys.
Yeah,
and we're probably gonna talk about the next issue.
I think so. I really like this. This is the most exciting thing going on in Lantern universe right now.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. And dude, like just the look of the book. It's like it's the same way how we love the Black Lantern stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was like a book like washed in darkness, and then you had like these shining rings and all this stuff. So like. The indigo was just kind of like the creepy and the weird, and then like once they even suck out that light, you get to see these guys without any of that stuff on. It look awesome.
Yeah.
And I just love the Black Hand costume.
Yeah, really, really, really good work on this stuff. Yeah, and you have Jeff Johns, Doug Mank, a bunch of other awesome creators and collaborators on the team.
Collaborators.
Fantastic book. It's up to issue 9. Check them all out if you can. Garby in the chat room wants to know if we have seen the series A Secret History by Arcania.
No.
Not the one I was thinking of, Garby. I apologize. I was thinking of the thing you showed me today.
They're very good company. I've heard about this. I've been meaning to pick it up. Thank you for reminding me. I will check this out. I'll give you a review.
And also plug the YouTube clip that we watched today.
Oh yeah, guys. They're what's the name of the company?
Arcania.
They put out a incredible what was it? Adaptation of the first issue just came out last week of the classic Wagner Ring Cycle
Neebling.
The Neebling, the Siegfried story, which is just like it's a great, awesome storyline. But what they did was, for the American audience, they created a short little, like 4-minute, 5-minute commercial for it, which is just like animated. It looks like the most beautiful animation. It looks like Disney era, like Fantasia. Rats of Nim. It has that like look to it. Maybe I'll link you guys up in the chat room and check it out. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The comic is amazing. I spent a good portion of the last week reading Pete Craig Russell's Dark Horse adaptation of the same story, and it's been great stuff.
Awesome plug. Can we also queue up our commercial that we made? This is what we're doing right now.
It's a little work for you guys.
Do you want me to cue? Just
I gotta get it.
I got it. Okay. Are you looking for it on YouTube, or are you looking for the?
No, I have it.
Okay, awesome. So again, by happenstance, me, Jonathan, and I do not work together, yet we were involved in making this video for a company that we are both very familiar with. We're gonna show it to you. Hope you guys like it, and it's going to happen in now.
A million minutes.
Hey, hon, what you got there?
Oh, this awesome chemistry set I got through SaleRacks.com.
They list everything, don't they?
Sure do, babe. And now I could have everything! Ah! Oh! Yeah! Oh! That's what I'm talking about!
You ruined me!
Oh my God, I just had the craziest dream, honey. Oh.
Tell me about it, Sugarface.
What the fuck?
That is waking up next to you is a nightmare. I hope you like that little thing. Garby, sorry about killing your speakers. Get new speakers, bro. All right, we got time for one more book, Andrew? All right, we got time for one more book, and that book is going to be Fury, My War Gone By.
Ooh, boy.
You have Ennis Parlov and Low Ridge. After like there's been a void of Garth Ennis like Max stuff, and we're both huge Garth Ennis fans. Who, for those of you who watch the show, you can probably know that we have killed you with it ad nauseum. Our fandom for Garth Ennis and Punisher and his Nick Fury. So you have this. Go for it, man. I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this.
Yeah, I have been. It's good. So you get to see. Well, the biggest part of this excitement comes from the fact that we get to see Garth Ennis do a Marvel Max series. Especially that it takes place in the same world as Punisher Max. This is, I believe, during the Indochine battles.
It's all in. The first issue is Indochina.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the early '60s. I want to say maybe mid '60s.
Yeah, give or take.
But it's narrated by old Fury. Like he's talking into a recorder.
Oh yeah, telling a story. So you're gonna get, and it's a great moment because this is. Goran Pavlov, who does a wonderful job for Punisher. We get a beautiful shot of one of our favorite characters, Barracuda. Get a great shot of Frank. Very excited about where they're going to go with this book because it's just like everything that is like friggin' Garth Ennis. You got, mean-ass, Snake Man, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
You get like cool espionage stuff like British people talking about, how great their military system is compared to everybody else.
Right.
You also get like a psychopath, German ex-Nazi that's going to be working with them.
Right.
And it's just like
the financier secretary.
Yeah.
Who's like a real bad bitch.
Yeah.
And the goody two shoes like go between for Fury and the States basically.
Yeah, dude. It just works. It really is something that I really hope it's around for a very long period of time.
Oh, same here.
There's so much you could do with it. He is like Fury is like the Eternal Warrior for aside from like Captain America, he's the guy who like they always say like he's the if one soldier can make a difference in the war, and he's always that dude.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a scumbag too. Like he will sacrifice you for the greater good. As he has with many of his friends. He's kind of the closest thing that Marvel has to like a John Constantine without like the magic, especially in the Max world.
That's a good point.
And also it's a great thing because it seems like they're really scaling back a bit on Nick Fury's involvement in the regular Marvel universe because of Black Nick Fury.
So this is the Nick Fury that you're going to get.
Yeah, pretty much. But we are going to get Nick Fury join the Defenders, which is also really weird too.
Right. I think it fits, man.
It does. You could throw anyone on that team.
Defenders is like the island of misfit toys at this point.
Just thinking that. Just throw it out. Dude, I love the book. It looks great. It's a great package.
It's a good read for. It's an awesome number one that didn't disappoint. And also I think that we should mention is that since it's Max, it's set outside the Marvel universe. The Max world is supposed to be set in reality for the most part. At least the Punisher and the Nick Fury of that world. The really cool thing to explain how he has been around since World War II is the fact that he got shot in the head, and the bullet that's lodged in his brain is slowing his aging down. So he doesn't know if he's gonna like die slowly or he's just gonna die one day. But he's got a bullet in his head, and it kind of like it makes him like the ultimate Black Ops soldier.
He doesn't give a shit.
This Fury was also blackballed, and he wasn't the hero that the other Fury is in regular Marvel Universe. He got blackballed by, I want to say the CIA.
Yeah.
He was by the CIA, where he disobeyed a direct order. He ended up saving an entire troop of soldiers, and they threw him in the shitter basically, and they threw him to like into the worst part of the world in a horrible jungle, where he's going to be fighting like rebels and communists and just like all kinds of like sellswords basically, like much. Legionnaires and just like dudes who have no country or anything like that. He's like in the meat grinder basically.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's Bling Cool called it the most Ennis comic that he's probably produced, and it's just like it's what you want out of this book. You're gonna get freaking bad dudes being bad dudes.
I think that's the answer for it. Nobody does a bad dude story better than Garth Ennis. Very
Absolutely.
tough. There's a lot. Jason Aaron comes very close, but
Ooh.
you know.
Well, yeah, like if one day I want you to really catch up with Scalped, because like the last act of where we're in Scalped now is some of the greatest, bloodiest, meanest gunfighting I've ever seen
In a comic book.
Yeah, dude, like people getting shot through cheeks, like all ridiculous, like hard stuff, man.
Yeah. So anyway, that was I think we're done, right?
Yeah.
That was our episode today. A lot of comic talk, a lot of hot talk. Thank you very much, chat room. Thank you again, Andrew, for the delightful soiree last night. So again, a big happy birthday a couple of days early to Andrew. Also, a happy birthday to my brother, because you guys share the birthday as the same day of birth. And my singer Dan also is born on May 13th.
Wow.
Pretty is like where the universes collide. So thank you for watching another episode of Behind the Counter. I'm your host, Rich Stambolian.
And I am just a man.